All right, hello and welcome to Swing It and Ding It, an iHeartMedia podcast. Man, this is a birdie fest.
It's a Philly show, baby.
Let's go.
All right, welcome back into Swing It and Dig It, episode 286, part 2, brought to you by our friends at Top Dog Law, Bet Parks, and also Buy My Balls. And if you've been listening to the show these last couple of weeks, you know that the APGA Tour makes its return to the 1912 Club next Monday through Wednesday. You can go out there and check it out. It's the Advocates Professional Golf Tour, which is, if you don't know already, a year-round golf tour playing events coast to coast. They were in Louisiana last week, and they focus on providing competitive opportunities for underrepresented golfers. And I wanted to welcome Jeffrey Cunningham to the show. Jeffrey, welcome to Swing It and Ding It, man. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me.
Well, we're glad to have you. Now, you're coming off a top 10 finish, I believe, at that event down in Louisiana. So you must be feeling pretty good about your game coming in this week.
Yeah, it's definitely a positive week and a lot to take from. I was a little disappointed of how I finished, but it's a blessing and an opportunity to even have a chance to get it done. So definitely looking to build on that coming to my second home, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, 1912 Club. And I'm really excited for the week.
Well, talk about how different it is when, like, let's say you're coming into that final day now down in Louisiana, and you're up near the top of the board. It's a different feel, and you have to sort of get used to playing in those types of conditions, right?
Absolutely. It starts with the night before. You might not be sleeping as good when you're in the last or second to last group. And it's really just getting comfortable being uncomfortable. And I really thought I did a great job of that the whole entire day, and just made a couple of mistakes coming in, which is natural, and just going to take it as a learning lesson and put my best foot forward.
You got to keep putting yourself in those positions, and then before you can knock one down, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. Now, tell us about the APGA Tour. You've been a part of this for a couple, 3-4 years now.
Yes.
What has it meant to you?
It's meant the world to me. It gave me my start into professional golf after I graduated from Drexel in 2022. So they kind of had everything set up for me once I graduated, with events to play and coming on through the collegiate program. They set us up in hotels and with the practice rounds, and also basically a team of other guys doing the same thing as me within my collegiate program. So it really made the transition process seamless. And it gave me my start. So I feel like I owe a lot to the APGA Tour for what they've done for me and what they're doing for the future of golf.
That's awesome. And of course, they provide avenues too for players to get into the PGA Tour Americas and even the Korn Ferry Tour. So it can give you a great, starting point to professional golf. So
exactly.
What's it like out on tour? Like, when you're traveling around from week to week, you guys have 15, 16 events, like I said, spread out all across the country. What's that tour life like?
For a lot of people, it can be a lot. It could be overwhelming because you're moving week to week. But I love it. The travel is great, especially when you're playing with great guys on this tour. Like, for example, last week was awesome at the Michael Eaves Classic. You've got all these celebs that you look at and you look up to, and you find yourself in a situation where they're looking up to you because you're the professional golfer, and they're looking to improve their game. And so, all the guys were hanging out with J.R. Smith around the table last week, and he was kind of giving his experiences within the game, drawing the game. And so I would say it's a tight-knit community on this tour where guys want to see each other succeed, but at the same time beat each other. And so that creates a really healthy environment and really gets us prepared for the next step. So I think we'll see a lot of stars really come from this tour, and some household names for the future for sure.
That's awesome. Now, you mentioned you went to Drexel, of course, here locally, but you grew up in Florida, like the West Palm Beach area. Talk about,
Yes, sir.
growing up down in Florida, how you got to Drexel, how you picked up the game of golf.
So yeah, I learned the game of golf from my dad, and he got me introduced to a coach who had a son around a little bit older than me. And so that's kind of how I got into competition, is seeing somebody a little bit older than me playing, and fell in love. In terms of me getting to Drexel, I was a late commit in high school. I didn't really know where I was going to go. It came down to about, 3 or 4 schools. And I was playing a junior tournament, Future Masters, and ran into another competitor who was going to Drexel University, and couldn't believe that I wasn't committed anywhere. So he connected me to the coach at the time, Ben Feld. And from that day, from that point on, Feld was texting me every single day, asking how I was doing, asking how the game was coming along. And it just so happened that his family also has a place down in South Florida. And when he was in town, I was like, let's get together, talk about Drexel and, opportunity coming out there. And he said, that's awesome. I'd love to hit balls. Long story short, he brought his entire family out to watch me hit balls out at Bear Lakes in West Palm Beach. And so I said to myself, talking to these other coaches, nobody's bringing their family out and texting me every day to make sure how I'm doing. So I think this is the place that I probably should go. And I came up to Philadelphia, and coming from, I wouldn't have considered myself a city guy in high school. And so I was a little skeptical about going to college in the city. And man, after that first year at Drexel, I fell in love with the city, and all the people here, they take care of you, especially if you're doing something in sports and improving your team. So I really owe the city of Philadelphia everything. I say it turned me to a man, and I was able to learn how to handle my stuff and handle my business up here. So I have a give to Drexel University in the city of Philadelphia, because they took care of me while I was in college, and they still are to this day.
Wow, that's a great story, man. We'll talk about Philly golf here in a little bit, but I saw where your sister, one of your sisters, played college hoops at Dartmouth, and you played high school hockey as a centerman and a left winger. That's quite an athletic family you come from.
Absolutely, yeah. My sister, she is the leader of all our siblings, and I remember going up to Dartmouth and watching her play UConn, and
Wow.
I was probably maybe 8, 9 years old, and that was like a surreal experience, seeing my sister take on Gina Oriema and the UConn Huskies. And so, yeah, I was just talking with her the other week about, this professional golf life, and she's always such a good person to go and get advice from, because she understands the athletic background as well as myself being her little brother. So we come from an athletic background, and as you see, she went to Dartmouth, so she's quite a smart woman as well with my other siblings who. My brother went to Dartmouth as well, and my sister
wow.
went to University of Virginia. So I look up to them big time, and they inspire me to continue my athletic journey. And on the hockey side, that was the most fun sport to play, I say. But golf is more addicting, so here we are.
Yeah. Who's your favorite hockey team? Who do you follow?
I would have to say the Panthers. And between them and the Flyers, they had a pretty solid year. But the Panthers have been raking in the championships in the
Yes,
last
they
3
have.
years, so I kind of jumped ship
Very good, very good. Now, I saw on one of your social media profiles, you said you're growing the game of golf through your own marketing lens. I believe you were a marketing major, maybe in college. How are you going about doing that?
I was. Well, so I actually got myself hurt about a year and a half ago, and it took me out of the game. And I've always had a creative side to me, and I think we have a lot of room in golf to make the game more attractive at all levels, whether that be the PGA Tour, whether that be from the teaching instructor standpoint. So I worked with a couple of instructors and did some marketing work for them, and uh, and make it more clear to the public what they do within the industry. And see an avenue for the PGA Tour to make the game more attractive and make it for everybody. And so I think marketing is such a great to do that, and I've really enjoyed basically taking both sides of my passions and putting them together to enhance this game.
Very cool. Sounds like a plan. Now, you said golf is more addictive than hockey, but what do you love most about the game of golf?
When you, like, for example, when you get into contention like last week, there's nothing that really makes you feel that way. You get your heart racing, you get your mind sharp, and it's almost like going on a first date all the time. You get the butterflies in your stomach, and I love that feeling, and I also love conquering that feeling. You really learn about yourself when you're out there, learn how much pace you have. And it's such a beautiful game because everybody is trying to get better no matter the skill level. I say Scotty Scheffler is trying to get better just like your average, team handicapper at home. So percent skill in this game, and I just love the chase. I'm addicted to the chase and just trying to improve myself every single day, whether that be on the golf course or off the golf course, to try and get the results that I've been chasing. So.
Yeah, it's very, very cool how you just described how, people that play golf of all different skill levels are still after the same things.
Yes.
That's pretty interesting. I don't know if there's another sport that can do that for people.
I don't. It's such a game, and it's a game of inches. You can't overpower it. You're at times you're at the course's mercy, and it's just you and the crowd out there, and it's just a puzzle of improvement.
Yeah, that's a very good description, a puzzle of improvement. All right, now, Philly golf. You've been up here for 4 or 5 years at Drexel. You must have played a few of the courses in the area outside of the 1912 Club. What are some of your favorites? What's your favorite Philly golf course that you've played?
I would have to say my favorite golf course is Philly Cricket. I have a couple of mentors there that have taken me out there, and just such the ambiance out there to just kind of finish your 18 and have a beer and a cheese steak and talk with your guy is something like I've never really experienced. Of course, you have to. I think Marion is such a freaking great, and it's probably the best golf course in Philly. I know they got the U.S. Amateur out there, but I love Philly Cricket.
Yeah, that's quite a finishing hole there, and they're making a new patio area that overlooks that hole. They're redoing that. That's going to be spectacular when they finish that. Terrific
Hopefully.
Golf course. Yeah. All right, now I've been talking to your putting coach here recently, who's been reading some greens for you, and he said that there might be a new putter in the bag for this tournament this week. What can you talk about that?
Yeah, there might be. We've definitely been open to some suggestions, and if you're from Philly, you know what he's suggesting. There's not many options when it comes to Mike Didda. But on the putting greens is where I've been is where I've been working the most. If I that part of my game, the sky is the limit for me. So of course he brought out some make field options to
Right.
fit today, and we worked on some setup work and stuff. But he's a great guy. He cares so much about seeing his players and especially his Drexel players get better. And I called him, you know, and told him I was going to be out at Philmont, and he was out there in the next 15, 20 minutes working with me. So
Yeah.
I appreciate Dinda a lot and everything that he's done for our program in the city of Philadelphia golf.
That's awesome. Yeah, definitely a great guy, and gift to golf in this area for sure. Now I've got a foursome. We need a fourth at 410 today at the 1912 Club. If you want to bring that putter out and give it a whirl, you're more than welcome to join us. So,
all righty, I might see y'all then. Absolutely.
Okay. Now you're on Instagram at jcunny CUNNI 99. Is that right?
That's me.
Okay.
Everything's jcunny99 except my phone number.
Okay, give him a follow, and hey, we're wishing you the best of luck this week at the 1912 Club and for the rest of the season here on the APGA Tour. Jeffrey, we really appreciate a couple of minutes, man.
Thank you so much. Look forward to seeing you guys out there.
Yeah, awesome. That's the APGA Tour this week, Monday through Wednesday at the 1912 Club. Don't forget, that's going to wrap up this week's episode. Give us a follow on Instagram and also subscribe to our YouTube page. And until next time, next week, keep on swinging it and dinging it.